Ah yes, the Ouya. A console that was truly unique, and honestly something that I think I will never ever be able to talk about ever again. Unless there's someone else that can be as successful as the Ouya was on Kickstarter and raise millions of dollars, just to fail terribly. It had an amazing concept but just didn't live up to its name. And unlike other console failures, this one is extremely unique, because it came from just a simple person. But over the years that vision began to fade away. So let's go ahead and see why the Ouya entered the Red Ring of Death. In 2012, a woman named Julie Ehrman started a project, and in Julie's words, she believed that smartphones would take over the gaming industry, and she feared that traditional television way of playing a game would be lost, which is sort of odd, because the console market is still really alive. And during this time in 2012, the Wii and the 360 and PS3 were like all at almost 100 million units, and especially with PCs, the market doesn't really seem to be falling. There's just a new market. But anyways, the Ouya concept made its way on Kickstarter, and only after a few hours, it reached $1 million, surpassing the $950,000 goal, and in the end hit $8.5 million, making it the top 5 highest earning Kickstarter projects at that time. It also was the best first day performance of any project till this day. The Ouya was priced at $99 with 8GB of flash, and $129 for the 16GB version, which was pretty cheap. When I first heard about this idea, I thought it would become the modern day Tiger concept, because to me this seemed like the poor man's version of a video game console. If you couldn't afford an Xbox One or a PS4 or a Wii U, this was basically your last resort. So even at the beginning, people began to become skeptical of the Ouya. PC Magazine was the first to call it a scam, but there were a few companies that defended it, like Unreality Magazine, and they were sort of acting a little bit like politically correct, and they were like, a scam implies that something is intentionally illegal, but clearly what PC Magazine meant is a figure of speech when they said scam. Sort of like how we can call things crap. It's not literally like shit. We just call it crap because it's a figure of speech. So the early reviews rolled in, and Engadget's review of it and The Verge's would sort of have a foreshadowing for what customers would feel, and a terrible fate for the Ouya. Both of the companies reported that the controller's quality was really lacked. Sometimes buttons would get stuck, there would even be a slight lag between the controller and the console for certain games, and yeah, the build quality was just not good. Now for the sales of the Ouya, no one really knows what they are. And when confronted at 2013's South by Southwest, the CEO acted very shady, especially when asked about partnerships and also sales.
How many have you sold?
A lot.
Can you give me a range?
A lot.
Like
I mean, we're really pleased.
You're not going to tell me a number?
No, I'm not.
So you could see it being built into a television?
I would love it to be built into
a Blu-ray player?
Absolutely.
Are you talking to people about that right now?
Talking to everybody.
Can you specifically tell me who you're talking to?
No, I can't.
Do you want to share any details on any deals that you may be making?
No, I don't.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
All right. It's just us in here.
2014 rolled in and basically everything seemed the same. There was a new variation of the Ouya, and there were a few loans given to Ouya. And other than that, there was nothing that really happened in 2014, though there were a lot of complaints that were coming from people online. And in January of 2015, Ouya received a huge investment from Alibaba for $10 million, and there was a possibility of a partnership between the two. But somehow, just 3 months later, Ouya was like, yo, we can't pay anyone, and they were in so much debt that they had to sell themselves. So Razer bought them. So on July 27th, Razer purchased Ouya. And the first idea that Razer did after purchasing Ouya was to kill Ouya. That's as productive as going to the store, buying a console, and then destroying it. Jesus Christ. But Razer did make their own TV set box, which is called Forge TV. And any content that was on the Ouya can be transferred to Forge TV, which is pretty convenient. And that same year, the new Apple TV was announced. And now every single company that has one of those TV set boxes, unless it's like a Chromecast or a Amazon Fire TV, they're all gonna die. So besides a lack of games and a bad controller, why else did the Ouya fail? Well, believe it or not, the CEO herself, while the Ouya was succeeding, explains why the Ouya sucks.
There is nothing special about this board. Nothing. Like, nothing, right?
By the way, you don't hear a lot of people, when they're promoting their product,
say that any one of you can go make it.
There's nothing special about this.
There's nothing. I mean, it's all commodity components, right? It's put together in a way that is normal. I mean, you could take a Nexus 7 board, cut it in half, and you're close to an Ouya. I mean,
So I can
that's
just,
what's not.
So I don't need the Ouya, is what you're saying.
The other reason that the Ouya failed was just because there was a lack of games. Most of them were found on your phone, and also there was cheaper alternatives, like Chromecast. You could just pick up a controller for like $30 and it's cheaper and it's better. But it could also be another reason. And this reason is sort of a mixture of our fault and Ouya's fault. It could really be because the Ouya was just overhyped. We all thought that it was going to be this big, incredible small console where every game would have a free-to-play trial, which by the way was removed eventually. So that promise was like totally destroyed, where we could play Call of Duty and GTA, or have an indie developer just rise and have an Ouya exclusive experience. It was going to be something for the modders, a sort of smaller gaming PC for Android, but that wasn't what it was at all. All it really was exactly what the CEO said. It was like an Android phone on a big screen. And maybe that's what some people like. Maybe some people want to play Angry Birds or even the old GTAs if they happen to have them. But like I just said, there is a cheaper alternative, and you get a better controller. That's pretty sad to say. So because the Ouya made us think that it was something more than it was, and some people fell for it and gave them $8.5 million, the Ouya entered the Red Ring of Death. It became an idea that didn't live up to its name. Although Ouya, the brand name, is now just used as a gaming publisher for like Android TV and TV-based consoles.
The buttons and the touchpad, right? Because our controller has a touchpad. You're not going to find that somewhere else. The reality is...
The new PlayStation 4 controller has a touchpad,
That's
doesn't
true.
it?
They could build it for that.
So
thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.